drunk on you, baby.
He was so mad, he started kicking and screaming and stuff. I walked off, and then I heard him say something, and I said, Darius, what did he say? He said, she must want a melee. I said, what's a melee? A fight. I turned around, I said, you want to fight? Darius grabbed me. I was gonna go there and whip his behind.
And Reggie at that time were very sensitive to putting black men in dresses. And they heaped that on me.
What was the controversial scene that ended Family Matters for good? How did a single moment change the future of one of America's favorite TV shows? For years, Family Matters brought laughter, heart, and unforgettable characters into people's homes.
A family. You gave me 3 kids. You took away my baby. If you had taken away my oldest child, we could have always come up with an excuse that she was
we would have been happy.
That she was in the back or she was with her friends. You took away my baby. And when I asked you, why did you take away the baby girl, you said nobody would notice.
Fans loved watching Steve Urkel's antics and the Winslow family's daily life. But as the show continued, a particular scene caused a huge reaction that couldn't be ignored. What made this scene so powerful that it marked the final chapter?
It's a rare condition this day and age.
Family Matters first aired on ABC on September 22nd, 1989, during a popular Friday night TV block called TGIF, short for Thank Goodness It's Friday. This was a prime slot, and people tuned in every Friday night for some laughs and good family fun. The theme song had a catchy line, "It's Friday night and the mood is right," which many people remember to this day.
It's Friday night and the mood is right.
The show actually began as a spin-off from another ABC sitcom called Perfect Strangers. Harriette was such a memorable character that the network decided she should have her own show. So they built a new sitcom around Harriette and her family. Family Matters was created by William Bickley and Michael Warren and developed by Thomas L. Miller and Robert L. Boyette. These 4 were the executive producers for Perfect Strangers and carried their experience over to make Family Matters another successful show.
Sometimes the world looks perfect.
The sitcom brought joy and laughter to homes all over America. With its lovable characters and humorous moments, the show quickly became a favorite among families. Running for 9 seasons, Family Matters wasn't just any show. It became a major part of people's lives. At the center of the show was the Winslow family, a tight-knit group living in Chicago. From Father Carl, a police officer with a big heart, to the unforgettable Steve Urkel, who was known for his funny catchphrases and nerdy outfits. The show was a hit.
Wow, are you wearing a bra?
However, behind the scenes, things were not as cheerful as they seemed on screen. Recently, surprising secrets and controversies have come to light, showing a different side of the show that fans never expected.
Did I do that?
Many fans remember Steve Urkel's famous lines like, "Did I do that?" and "Whoa, mama." Steve was originally supposed to appear in just 1 episode, but his quirky character stole the show, becoming the star. However, Steve's rise to fame wasn't always easy for the other actors. Some cast members felt they were overlooked as the show's focus shifted heavily towards Steve. As a result, tensions developed between Jaleel White, who played Steve, and some of his co-stars. Jaleel's sudden fame may have influenced his behavior, making him seem more important than the other characters. This led to disagreements on set, and the harmony of the Winslow family that fans saw on screen didn't always exist behind the scenes.
But everybody has a default. Do you crumble? Do you wilt under pressure? Do you rise? Do you surprise yourself? My default tends to be to take it up a notch.
But what fans didn't see was the drama behind the scenes. Recently, Jo Marie Payton, who played Harriette Winslow on the show, shared a surprising story about a conflict with Jaleel White, which almost led to a real fight on set. Jo Marie spoke with Entertainment Tonight about this incident that happened during the filming of a Season 9 episode called Original Gangsta Dawg. In this episode, there was a scene where Harriette was supposed to get tough with Steve. However, the tension didn't stay just in the script. It spilled over into real life. Jo Marie explained that Jaleel was very determined to play out the scene as it was written, but she felt it wasn't right. According to Jo Marie, the scene could have been a problem for TV standards, and she didn't want to go ahead with it. But Jaleel insisted, which led to a tense argument.
He was so mad, he started kicking and screaming and stuff. I walked off, and then I heard him say something, and I said, Darius, what did he say?
As the argument heated up, Jaleel allegedly became so angry that he started yelling and even kicking things on set. Jo Marie felt disrespected and decided to leave the set. But as she was walking away, she heard Jaleel's comment that she must want to fight. This remark made her even angrier, and she almost turned around to confront him physically. Thankfully, her co-star, Darius McCrary, who played Eddie Winslow, held her back, calming her down.
He said, she must want a melee. I said, what's a melee? A fight. I turned around, I said, you want to fight? Darius grabbed me. I was going to go in there and whip his behind. I was going to whip his behind.
Now, looking back, Jo Marie sees the situation a little differently. She realizes that Jaleel was just a young actor then and may not have fully understood his actions. She doesn't blame him entirely, seeing it as a moment of youthful emotion. Many fans loved Steve Urkel's character, and his popularity changed the entire focus of the show. Initially, Family Matters focused on the Winslow family and their daily lives. But Steve Urkel's character, with his quirky personality and wild scientific experiments, became the main attraction. Audiences adored him, and his popularity helped keep the show on air. However, this shift in focus wasn't easy for everyone on set. Some cast members felt like they were pushed aside as the show started revolving more around Steve than the Winslow family.
I'm drunk on you, baby.
The show's producers, Bill Bicey and Michael Warren, saw that fans loved Steve and considered making the show mainly about him. Steve's character was both annoying and lovable. He had an unrequited crush on Laura, the Winslow's daughter, which created funny and memorable moments.
Girl, you actually like Steve Urkel?
But this shift created tensions among the cast, especially for actors like Jo Marie, who had been there from the beginning. Jaleel White later admitted that the show's new direction did create challenges for everyone on set. However, his character did play a big part in the show's success, bringing in more viewers and eventually more money. All cast members benefited from the popularity, receiving residual checks for years after the show ended. Despite their differences, Jo Marie and the others have recognized how Steve's role made a lasting impact. While Steve Urkel became the face of Family Matters, some fans felt he overdid it with his antics. Not everyone liked the change, and some viewers even thought the show went too far in focusing on his character. The show's first ratings dip came in season 6, following Foxworth's departure at the end of season 4. By season 6, the audience declined by more than 1 million viewers each subsequent season. By season 8, Family Matters had fallen to an average of 8.8 million viewers. The Walt Disney Company purchased ABC about this time, and relations between the new owners and Meyer Burnett Productions were poor. Still, the studio agreed to pay $33 million for the 9th and 10th final seasons. However, CBS entered a $40 million deal with Disney for the rights to air Family Matters, Step by Step, and Mego. Family Matters became part of the network's burgeoning block party lineup, intended as a TGIF rival. When Family Matters moved to CBS, it faced new challenges that made things difficult for everyone involved. When Family Matters premiered on CBS, the ratings were initially okay, even beating out the previous show in its time slot. But soon after, the show's viewership dropped to an average of 5.9 million. CBS had planned for a possible season 10, but they decided to cancel Family Matters along with other shows in 1998, keeping only Kids Say the Darndest Things. The last episodes of Family Matters aired that summer, with the series finale, Lost in Space Part 2, giving Steve Urkel and the Winslow family a proper goodbye.
Working with him was a challenge. There were some moments when he was a little difficult, but overall, I have nothing but good memories for him.
The Winslow family seemed perfect on TV, but the actors who played them faced their own personal struggles. Many of the cast members dealt with challenges in their lives that most fans didn't know about. For instance, Jamie Foxworth, who played Judy, the youngest Winslow child, was written off the show without explanation. This unexpected exit led to personal and financial troubles for her in later years. Additionally, some cast members experienced tragic events and tough situations after the show ended. Despite their cheerful characters, their real lives were far from perfect.
Daddy, you gotta help me. Mom will kill me.
Well, take it easy, sweetheart.
But if you watch the show, you might remember another character, Judy Winslow, who suddenly disappeared. What happened to her, and why did the producers let her go? Judy Winslow, played by Jamie Foxworth, was the youngest child in the Winslow family. She had some fun moments on the show, but was never the center of attention like her siblings, Eddie and Laura. As Steve Urkel's character grew popular, producers decided they didn't need Judy anymore. After the 4th season, she was quietly written out of the show without an explanation. The Winslows went on as if Judy had never existed, focusing on Eddie, Laura, and Steve. This sudden decision shocked Jamie, who was only 13 at the time.
This is junk mail. Hey, you're new in this profession. You've got to start at the bottom.
In 2017, Jamie shared her feelings about her character's exit with the Roots, saying, "The producers felt they could do it and no one would notice. They had done it on other shows before." Losing her role affected Jamie's self-esteem. She felt forgotten and unimportant, which was tough for a young teen who had been in the spotlight.
A family. You gave me 3 kids. You took away my baby. If you had taken away my oldest child, we could have always come up with an excuse that she was
We would have been happy.
That she was in the back hall, or she was with her friends. You took away my baby. And when I asked you, why did you take away the baby girl, you said nobody would notice.
After Family Matters, Jamie tried to return to a regular life and even attended Burbank High School. Acting work was hard to find, so she decided to explore music with her sisters, Tyron and Jania. Together, they formed an R&B group called SHE, releasing an album called Three's a Charm in 1997. But when the music career didn't take off as she hoped, Jamie started facing financial issues. By the age of 19, Jamie found herself at a crossroads. In an effort to make ends meet, she participated in a swimsuit photo shoot, thinking it would be a fun and straightforward job. However, this opened the door to the adult movie industry, a decision she later regretted. Pressured by financial worries and her then-boyfriend, she ended up working in adult films, a path that was both emotionally and mentally difficult for her. Jamie later admitted that she started using alcohol and painkillers to cope with the shame and stress, hoping her work in adult films would stay hidden. But as the movies spread, the reality set in, and Jamie found herself struggling even more. Life continued to be a challenge for Jamie. Depression and rumors about her family using her trust funds took a toll on her. In 2008, Jamie appeared on Celebrity Rehab, where she openly talked about her struggles with substance use and her journey to sobriety. Later that year, she shared that she was expecting her first child with her boyfriend, Michael Shaw. Becoming a mother became a turning point for her, motivating her to stay clean and start fresh. She welcomed her son, Michael Shaw Jr., and focused on providing a better life for him. Unfortunately, her relationship with Shaw became difficult, leading Jamie to file a restraining order against him, citing verbal and physical abuse. Despite her challenges, Jamie continued working towards stability for herself and her son. In 2009, she shared her story on the TV show Life After, which documented her.
A carefully orchestrated charade designed to drive you back into my arms.
Then went to Michelle Thomas, who was a talented young actress who seemed to have a bright future ahead of her. She was best known for her role on the popular TV show Family Matters, where she played Myra Monkhouse, the love interest of the show's star, Steve Urkel. Her character brought charm and warmth to the show, and many fans loved her. But as her career began to take off, Michelle received some devastating news. She had a rare type of stomach cancer called intra-abdominal desmoplastic small round cell tumor. This is an uncommon and aggressive cancer that mostly affects young people. For someone like Michelle, who was careful about her health, she was a vegetarian, didn't smoke, and avoided alcohol, this diagnosis came as a huge shock. Friends, family, and fans were all taken by surprise. Despite the pain and exhaustion from her illness, Michelle continued to work on family matters for as long as she could. Her cancer made her very weak, and treatments often knocked her out for days at a time. Her mother once shared that a sedative meant to help her sleep for 20 minutes would leave her asleep for up to 4 days because her body was so worn down.
Can you believe what's happening? My little doodle bug floating out in space all by his lonesome.
In 1997, Michelle underwent surgery to help treat her cancer. Her strong spirit pushed her to return to acting, but in 1998, another cancerous growth was found. She needed a second surgery, but this time, her condition worsened. Sadly, all the treatments and surgeries couldn't save her, and doctors knew she didn't have long to live. After leaving the hospital, Michelle went home to New Jersey to spend Thanksgiving with her family in Weehawken. Only a few weeks later, on December 23, 1998, Michelle passed away at the young age of 30. Her family, friends, and the cast of Family Matters were heartbroken. Her mother shared how she lay next to Michelle in her final hours, holding her close as she took her last breath. Michelle was laid to rest in a Muslim funeral service in New Jersey, as she had requested. After Michelle's death, some conspiracy theories and rumors began to circulate. Some people claimed that Michelle's refusal to play along with the system in Hollywood might have been a factor in her death. According to Family Matters co-star Jaleel White, Michelle had refused to sell her soul. These stories spread among fans, but many people dismissed them as just speculation. Whether there was any truth to these claims or not, Michelle's family and friends knew that her passing was a result of her difficult battle with cancer.
Well, I'm picturing you and me cuddling in front of a cozy fire.
Kellie Shania Williams, who played Laura Winslow on Family Matters, was another favorite among fans of the show. Viewers loved her sass, charm, and the chemistry she shared with other characters. But when the show ended, Kellie found it hard to keep her career going at the same level. Many child stars struggle with imposter syndrome, feeling like they don't truly belong or that their early fame was just luck. After Family Matters, Kellie continued to act, but she couldn't reach the same level of fame as her co-stars, like Jaleel White, who went on to successful roles. Kellie did star in a show called What About Joan, but unfortunately it didn't do well and was canceled shortly after it aired. Eventually, Kellie returned to acting in 2020 in the holiday film Christmas in Carolina, where she reunited with her Family Matters co-star, Darius McCrary. Although she returned to the screen, Kellie continued to work in other areas of television and film. Along with Darius and Jo Marie Payton, she started Dreamflix TV, an online network that shares news, entertainment, and other programs with a focus on the American audience.
Hi, Dad. Sorry we woke you. We've been hanging out down here since 10:58.
Darius McCrary, who played Eddie Winslow on Family Matters, also faced struggles after the show ended. His personal life became complicated, especially after he married Tammy Bronner, a former Harlem Globetrotter, in 2014. Unfortunately, the marriage ended in 2017 amid serious issues. Tammy claimed that Darius was violent and had problems with alcohol and drugs. She reported that he once held their daughter over a pot of boiling water during a heated argument. This led Tammy to get a restraining order, which required Darius to stay away from her and their daughter. Shortly after, Darius also filed a restraining order against Tammy, claiming she had been violent towards him. The couple eventually divorced, with Darius being ordered to pay child support of $1,366 each month. However, Darius faced more issues with child support. In 2015, he was briefly arrested for not paying, though he was released after settling the $5,500 he owed. Recently, in November 2023, he was arrested again for failing to pay over $52,000 in child support. The court advised him to seek help for his struggles with substance abuse and violent behavior. Ironically, Darius founded Father Care, a nonprofit organization aimed at helping men become better fathers. Despite his legal and personal troubles, Darius is trying to contribute positively through his organization.
He let me have pancakes and chocolate cake. So it's gotta be awful news.
Orlando Brown, who played the character 3J on Family Matters, has also faced serious challenges. His career in acting started strong, but behind the scenes, he struggled with drug addiction and legal problems. His issues with the law began in 2007 when he was arrested for marijuana possession. Though he claimed the car wasn't his, this incident was the start of a series of arrests. In 2016, Brown faced charges for drug possession, domestic violence, and resisting arrest. A later incident involved him threatening his brother with a weapon, leading to more charges in 2022. Unfortunately, Brown's history of drug use and violent behavior has brought him into trouble with the law repeatedly.
You're the one who needs to apologize, Mr. Banner. To Susan, Kevin, James, me, and everyone else that you've insulted.
Jo Marie Payton played Harriette Winslow on the popular show. She was a loving mom in the Winslow family, but halfway through the series, Jo Marie decided to leave. Why did she go? Before Family Matters, Jo Marie was famous for her role as Harriette in Perfect Strangers. Her success led to her getting her own spin-off show, which became Family Matters. But things were not perfect behind the scenes. Jo Marie had a tough time with some changes the producers made. One big issue was the character Steve Urkel, played by Jaleel White. As Urkel became more popular, he seemed to take over the show. Jo Marie did not like the shift. Another reason Jo Marie left was the strange disappearance of her character's daughter, Judy Winslow, during the 4th season. Judy just vanished without any explanation, which upset Jo Marie. Darius McCrary, who played Eddie Winslow, mentioned that Jo Marie would have left much earlier if it wasn't for her contract. She signed up for 8 years but found a way to leave after the first half of the season. Besides her frustrations with the show, Jo Marie was also going through a messy divorce. She said this made her decision to leave even easier. After she left, Judy Ann Elder stepped in to play Harriette, but many fans thought it felt wrong to see a new mom after Jo Marie's long run. When Jo Marie left, some cast members felt sad. Carl, played by Reginald VelJohnson, compared it to losing a partner in a long marriage. Darius shared that after Jo Marie's exit, he felt like he lost his real mom. But even though there were challenges, Jo Marie said she has forgiven Jaleel White and everyone else from the show. She has moved on and pursued new dreams, like hosting charity events and helping those in need. Now Jo Marie is happy with her life, even after 3 marriages. She looks forward to reuniting with her Family Matters family.
I'm drunk on you, baby.
Jo Marie has had her own challenges over the years, but she wasn't the only cast member to experience difficulties. In 2012, Jaleel White, known to millions as Steve Urkel, faced serious allegations from his ex-girlfriend, Bridget Hardy. Hardy, who is also the mother of White's daughter, opened up about their troubled relationship, which she claimed took a violent turn.
Jaleel White skyrocketed to stardom as Steve Urkel on the hit 90s sitcom Family Matters. Now he's in the headlines for a different kind of family affair, accused of abusing an ex-girlfriend and a reported blow-up with his dance partner, Kim Johnson.
According to Hardy, the problems began when she found evidence on White's phone that suggested he was unfaithful. When she confronted him about it, she said that White got extremely angry and became violent, even striking her across the chest. Hardy described an incident where White allegedly pushed her so hard that she fell onto a toilet, which broke from the impact. Frightened, Hardy decided to leave, taking her daughter with her on a trip. When she returned, she found that White had changed the locks on their home and placed her belongings in storage. White, however, denied these accusations. He responded to Hardy's claims by saying that the allegations were a way for Hardy to gain sympathy or leverage in child custody discussions. White told People magazine that when someone is doing well in life, it's common for others to try and bring them down. He found it especially hurtful because Hardy was the mother of his only child, and he felt her timing was planned to influence their custody arrangements. The question remains, could all of these accusations be exaggerations? Or is there a genuine pattern of issues that these actors faced? In any case, it's clear that their lives were not as cheerful as they seemed on screen. Family Matters may have brought joy to viewers, but for some of its stars, the experience seems to have left a lasting impact. The memories from the set and the experiences that followed make us wonder how fame and pressure affect child actors and how complex Hollywood relationships can become. What do you think? Are these stories surprising, or did you already guess that things weren't perfect on the set of Family Matters? Share your thoughts in the comments below.